Hola. I'm pleased to be able to speak here this evening on the Health and Childcare Support Miscellaneous Provisions Bill 19. As I said, I'm happy to speak on it. I want to acknowledge the excellent briefing prepared by Ms Emily Heary and the Oireachtas Library and Research Service. As the MNRS makes clear, the bill seeks to maintain provision of certain health benefits, European Health Insurance Card, EHIC, to eligible residents of Northern Ireland, and to make provision for British citizens to access the affordable childcare scheme on the same basis as Irish citizens in the event of no agreement between the EU and UK on the withdrawal of the UK from the European Union. And we're all gone weary and we're certainly holding our breath. We've all supported the government across the party lines here on that issue in an effort to get salvage some bit of last vestige of sanity from this decision, and the way it has developed, and the way it has went on and on and on and on, and without any clear timelines or no deadlines being put back and met, and not ever being met, and extension and extension and extension, and it's hugely damaging to all the economy of Ireland, and by extension, obviously, we need all this legislation in the previous omnibus bill, and I thank the Minister for briefings on it as well, to be fair, but and the other piece of legislation. But we do have issues around our hospital services here, Minister. You see how we're sending Deputy Collins just arrived in there, and Deputy C.D. Reyes, and sending busloads of people up to the north at present to get cataracts, knees, hips, you name it. Busloads of people, and many of them for your own party members, long before you were in the party that you're in now, and maybe there after you'll be in it too. Because you're not that long on it. And so long ago you were with another party out in Wicklow, and I know a small bit about Wicklow. Deputy Donnelly, you've gone around the house too a few times, but anyway. No, never. Once burned, once bitten, twice shy. Once. All my life in the party until 2011. But anyway.
Because they left us, we didn't leave them.
Deputy McGrath.
Oh my God. As I understand it, reimbursement of the necessary medical expenses to eligible residents of Northern Ireland is an exceptional provision which is being proposed by the government under the spirit of the Good Friday Agreement. And I really welcome that. It's that Good Friday Agreement, and I never mention it without mentioning a former deputy and a former junior minister and senator and professor and Dr. Martin Mansor and Father Alec Reid, two Tipperary men who worked so hard with the then Taoiseach Bertie Ahern, and Albert Reynolds got be good to him before it, and Alec Reid has gone to his General Ward too, and Matt McGuinness and many others. And it's a milestone agreement, and I want to, as I say, anything that we can do that will support that piece of legislation. And the last Count Calder would know, he looked at me there, but he'd know more about it than I would, because being from a border county and from one of the 9 counties as well, so he'd understand all about that as well. So it's important that we maintain continuity where possible. I think the bill seeks to achieve that here this evening. Measured. And I would have a worry, I suppose, about some of the legislation, because there's so much to be gone through so quickly as part of the omnibus bill and this legislation. I know they're rushed, time is not on our side, but legal scrutiny and everything else is sparse, so we need to be cautious. In respect of what I want to welcome, the provision of the eligibility of certain British citizens to apply for financial support under the Affordable Childcare Scheme is proposed as part of the Government's commitment to maintain the common travel area and its associated rights and privileges. And as the travel area is very important, and the issue about borders and customs and whatever else. But the problem is, Minister, when they come to Cavan General Hospital, or when they come to Letterkenny, where are we going to put them? What are we going to do for them? We can't look after our own. There are trolleys, I think 570 trolleys or something today. It's just become sanitised. And when you think of a trolley, and as Dr. Porter Regan, Professor Porter said yesterday, trolleys might be fine, but where they are and where they're placed, and the lack of services around them, and lack of electric and pints for blood transfusion and everything else. And basically in my hospital in Tipperary, in South Tipperary General, many times they don't have blankets, they don't have pillows, they don't have sheets, and they have no proper access to any of the services. And I've said it to you before, Minister, and I'm going to say it again tonight. this was dealing with Europe and Europe are good to us. But I believe that you and your head of the HSE and your top people should be brought to The Hague and charged with crimes of sleep deprivation, war crimes, because you're perpetrating war on unfortunate people in their, from babies right up to the babies, thankfully, or the children, and only children were from 16-year-olds up to people who are 100 years of age, and a 103-year-old recently on a trolley. And I honestly do think that you know, it's a pity. And while we're welcome this legislation, and I am welcome it, I think it's bizarre that we're going to pile more and have more, and you know, and can't give the services. And I have to say I welcome the 2 million that you provided yesterday when I read this in some flyer somewhere for the autism. And I do welcome that, because anyone to deal with autism. But I got contacted today by one. Sorry?
Announce it before you send me to The Hague.
Well, I wouldn't send you to The Hague at all. But
I don't think you can challenge them on this word war crimes. It's not the table language.
no, I'm the government. I'm just saying, if it was in a wartime, they would be charged with war, and there's no war, thank God.
It's been hypothetical, but it's not.
Sorry?
You know, I don't think you can charge them on a stir with the war.
I'm not charged. I have the power to charge them, but if I had the power, I would.
As different
But
interpretation.
I'm making the point, Les Concola, Marcia de Hull, I'm making the point that in a war situation, the government would be charged, or the administration would be charged, because sleep deprivation is part and parcel of every struggle and every war that ever went on. Sleep deprivation, so they do all kinds of things to keep them awake. We have them side-by-side vending machines and through traffic going through, and people all over the place and no room to pass. The difference with our hospital in Tipperary is that it's an old hospital. And we hear every day about comparison with CUH in Cork and ones in Dublin. They were built reasonably modern. I'm talking the last 40, 50 years. They have wide corridors. Ours are just the old type of corridors, and once there's a trolley on that and a person attending to it, nobody else can pass beside them with another service trolleys or anything else. That's the point I'm trying to make. The CTA, as we know, enables citizens, and Irish citizens, British citizens, to access a range of similar rights to each other's countries on a reciprocal basis, including access to healthcare and education. And it is vital that we do everything we can to sustain that arrangement. And I'm not opposing this piece of legislation because of that reason. But as I said, I have huge issues, as you should have too, Minister. We know that, you know, Irish citizens and British citizens to access a range of similar rights. I know there's issues as well in the National Health Service in Great Britain, but nothing would surpass what we have now here. Just the sheer mismanagement and bungling and frontline staff, and I should have mentioned it, in all hospitals, I'm sure, except in my own hospital and the regional and ones I've been in, they're working very hard, tirelessly and painstakingly, but they can't cope. And they're leaving it with stress. And the mental health Minister, and those issues, when people get a psychotic incident in Tipperary, they have to go into that mad E&E. And we've begged and pleaded. I mean mad now in the way that it's just unorganised and just chronic waiting times. Don't mean mad in any other sense of the word, but people get a psychotic attack. They're in there for maybe waiting 20 hours to be seen. And we begged and pleaded with the powers that be to give a room, a small room, not a small room, but a 10 by 10 or something, to have people like that are not going to be seen in A&E. And the trials might see them, but they're going to be sent to Kilkenny. We don't have a mental health facility anymore in Tipperary. And in our tip, they have to go to Innis. So, I mean, we're pleading. We're pleading that you deal with that. Look, I am in support of this legislation. I will cooperate. Now, Danny.